All right, guys, how's it going? I got a valve cover off, another one over here. Finnegan's on his way in. Yes, my dog is named Finnegan. Um, you guys know that by now. But for the new subscribers, his name is actually Finnegan. He's sniffing out the VR1, which is already wasted. So, for you guys following along, we got this engine in. Dropped it in on Sunday, fired it up. It had good oil pressure. We ran it with open headers for probably longer than my neighbors would have wanted to put up with. We revved it a couple of times. Everything was good. No noises. Just everything was good for a fire up on an engine that was kind of freshened up. I mean, it really wasn't freshened up. We kept the same rings. We just inspected it, put it back together. The only thing that changed is we did blueprint the pump. But we have problems. We have fucking problems. It's like the never-ending curse currently. We haven't exactly grenaded everything, but everything is giving us problems. You know, from shearing pins on distributors, from my wife's leg fucking breaking, to fucking wrist pins on the pistons coming out, to now oiling problems. I haven't even opened up my beer yet. It's Friday night. It was a long week, busy at work. My dad was over here yet last night. He helped me put the hood on the car. Had a look at my brother's car. He's got an ABS problem, either wheel bearing or sensor, neither here nor there. So I pop the hood on and I fire up the engine for my dad. You know, oil pressure cold is great. It's at like 50 pounds, how it normally should be. And then, what you call it? I just gave it a quick little rev, nothing crazy, and I noticed that it pegged like 80, and then it dropped down and like was continuously dropping. The only other time I saw that was when the pressure relief valve in the J-headed motor was stuck, and we were seeing like extremely high pressures, and there was a piece of shrapnel in that, and that was our issue. And you know, even though we had that problem with this engine, if you guys go back, we had this engine apart. We inspected all the bearings on the rods, on the mains, and everything was good. And we went, and this motor has 30 passes on it. Despite the wrist pin issue, this motor has 30 hard passes on it. A bunch of street miles where we beat the shit out of it, trying to figure out carburetor and ignition problems. And you know what? This engine still has a lot of good components. I think it's salvageable. I got a couple of things going on, so the next couple of weeks, considering everything that's been going on, I'm going to kind of not really focus on any of this because I have some loose ends to tie up. My buddy Dave asked me to do some work on his car because he put some chips and dents on it, and I have to paint Jerry's hood. And I plan on getting all of this done by early July. So you guys may be asking yourself, yes, we are running points, but I'm going to take the Bonneville to the next points race and run it. And then we have over a month in July to figure something out. And I'm going to figure something out. There's irons in the fire, and we have really good friends in high places. So we're not out in the cold. But it is not our year. We are not doing so hot. And this is hot rodding. It happens. Over the last couple of years, if you guys have followed along, you guys know we really haven't had many issues. You know, we ran this engine that's in the car now. I mean, we ran the piss out of it at Indy. We ran points with it the last 3 years. And just, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better engine. And to be honest with you, like, I'm not like heartbroken or sad. It's just, it's disappointing because I don't have the kind of time that I need to do this shit. If I had the time, I would have this engine out tonight and I'd be looking at it. But spending time with my wife and hanging out is important. She's still recovering from her injury, and she's still yet to do physical therapy we're waiting on news on that stuff. Hopefully next Friday we'll get some good news, and we'll be on our way to somewhat normal, especially for her. She wants to go back to work. She's tired of being home and on the couch, and it's mentally frustrating for her, and it is, I can't complain. I really can't complain. So, but, yep, that's what we got going on. But that's racing, man. You know, it's fun, but it is a lot of work. And I mean, between this engine and this engine, we got a lot of good parts. So we're gonna make something happen. A bad wrist pin does not kill the motor, because this thing still had great oil pressure. So if we have to cobble something up between that engine block and this, we're going to make something happen here. And I have a friend that offered up a short block out of his car with some goodies on it. And we're supposed to pick that up in July. So we got options. We got a bunch of cores. I mean, yes, I talked about going LS, and I still want to do it, but we're a ways away, guys. We are a ways away from going LS. We fixing our Oldsmobile junk is still worth it. Our option B is, my buddy Dave does have a wicked little small block 355 that he's had for a couple of years doing nothing. It is a lot of engine for our car. We would definitely need a cage. And we've gone back and forth about it for a couple of years now. It's just a big bullet to bite, and we have options. So, but before we go the LS route, we still have options, and we still have to stay Oldsmobile power for economic reasons on the wallet. Okay, I have to put a new furnace in the house because mine caught fire the last time it ran, and a relay burnt down, and a motherboard burnt out, and so there's that expense. And, you know, I borrowed some money for our trailer that I'm in the process of paying off. I'm almost done with that. And, you know, it's just, that's life, man. So we're gonna keep on rocking and fucking rolling. So there's going to be a lot of videos coming up, guys. First and foremost, I think I'm going to take some time this weekend and organize my garage, because we're going to have 2 engines out here now. Not just 1, 2. We're going to have 2 to fucking dissect. This one, not so much a dissection, as we're going to pull the oil pan. And the first thing we're going to look at is the oil pump and see what the hell's going on, and go from there. You know, I don't understand why this problem happened, because this engine has always been pretty happy, but the oil pump that is in there was older. It was blueprinted before it was put in the car, so maybe the extra pressure broke the spring. Maybe it's stuck open and it's not building up pressure properly. And that's what it seems like, because when I fire up the engine cold, I have to tap the throttle at low RPM. Like, it'll barely blip the needle. I have to kind of trigger the oil pressure. So I'm starting to lean towards that. This thing is this oil pump pressure relief valve is stuck in some way. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is a bearing isn't happy somewhere, but clearly we haven't put any miles on it. It's not making any noises at all, besides the rocker arms, because it's got a loose lash cam. I mean, this thing, it revs up great, doesn't smoke, nothing. I mean, it's just like the day we pulled it out, just minus the oil pressure. But yeah, frustration at its best. It's not our year, but we're going to chug along. We're going to chug along and just, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot going on. The next few weeks are going to be a little lean, but I'm probably going to do more videos on maybe a little bit of paint prep and stuff like that. And, the next race I'm going to go out, maybe I'm going to try to, cover a little bit more of it and do that for you guys. And then, after our next race, we pretty much have almost like a month and a half off, and hopefully within that time frame we can come up with option A, B, or C, whatever it may be. We got options, but I do have to take care of those priorities. One being that hood. That hood has to get done, and I think I'm gonna go pick up some primer tomorrow and get that primed up over the weekend, maybe Sunday night, and then I'm probably going to get some paint on it before the end of the month, and then I have to lay down some graphics on it as well. And then I have to do my buddy Dave's car 4th of July weekend. I think if he is going to be available, I'm going to fix his car. He damaged it up a little bit, but either way, this video has been long enough for no real purpose other than to kind of rant with you guys, but I'm sure you guys can understand the struggle. It happens. So stick around, man. We got plenty of shit going on. I definitely do now. If it wasn't interesting before, it's definitely going to get interesting in the next few weeks. So we'll see you guys around. Share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass. Give us a like. You know, tell your friends that there's an idiot out there building 350 olds who probably should have stopped a long time ago, but he hasn't given up yet. So we'll see you guys around.